We're excited today to have our favorite football twins, Sydney and Chase Brown.
How you doing, guys?
I'm going to put the camera on them for a minute so you can see them before we start our homeschooling. We're going to see if you can tell which one's which. How many of you have been studying the pictures online? All right, we'll give it a couple more seconds for everybody to get in the room. Okay, well, we've got some people on the line, and we've got Chase and Sydney Brown. Why don't you guys tell us which one is which?
Chase, Sydney.
All right, now I'm not sure if anybody can tell, but Sydney there's grown a little bit of a mustache and a beard. So in case you can't figure it out, and that may not always be the case, they may trick us later.
Exactly, yeah. Just look at the chin, guys. We're having trouble.
Use the facial hair as a cheat code.
All right, well, I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to start getting into our homeschooling for the day. All right, so guys, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I'm Chase Brown. I'll introduce Sydney, my brother, but this is Chase introducing Sydney. So Sydney's jersey number is number 30. He's a defensive back for the Illini. He's going into his junior year. His favorite Marvel movie is Iron Man. He is 6 feet tall, weighing in at 210. If he wasn't playing football, he would be interested in doing cycling. He has a really nice bike that he rides around when he's not at practice or studying film. His favorite school subject is science. He loves pizza, and his favorite color is yellow.
Thanks, Chase. I'm Sydney, now introducing Chase. Chase wears number 32 on the field. He's a running back. He's a junior in school, but he'll be a sophomore on the field next year. He likes Spider-Man, but I'd prefer Iron Man over that. He's coming in at 5'11", 195. He likes soccer, but there's no shot, really.
Yeah.
And favorite school subject is science. He loves himself a good stir fry, and his favorite color is green.
All right, so next we're going to start our first subject, which is science. And since Chase and Sydney are twins, we thought it'd be fun to take you through some scientific facts about twins.
Yeah. So do you want to start off the first one?
Yeah, so twins are categorized into two groups, fraternal and identical. Fraternal twins are when their two different eggs get fertilized, but they are born at the same time. So they don't share the same gene, but they can be it can go boy, girl, or boy, girl. So they can be different genders, and they usually look differently when they come out of the womb.
And identical twins is a little bit different. They look the same and share the same genes. Identical twins always have the same gender and share 100% of the same DNA. Sydney and I are a good example of identical twins. We were born 2 minutes apart.
Yeah.
And we came out looking somewhat alike. So here's an example of identical twins. But one difference between us are fingerprints. So when we first started school in the United States, we had to get our fingerprint put into the system so they can tell us apart just in case we try and mix it up at the border, but we've never tried that. But that is one big difference.
Yeah,
between identical
we look the
twins.
same, don't shame the same fingerprint. But a cool thing about identical twins is that there can be identical mirror twins, and that's an example of Chase and I again. We're identical mirror twins, and the difference between them is that mirror twins are reverse asymmetrical. So my brother's left-handed and I'm right-handed, so it's like looking into a mirror.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, interesting facts about twins. Even though they're born at the same time, they may not share the same birthday.
Do you guys know how that would happen?
Yeah, how would that work? You can put it in the Q&A.
So you can put it in the chat section if you know how could twins possibly not have the same birthday.
Okay.
How do you think, Steve?
So,
Oh, there we go. So Lamont Carroll says if they were born before and after midnight.
there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Good job, Lamont. Good job. So yeah, exactly. So depending on the time of day, if twins were born really late at night, that could
possibly happen.
What time were you guys born?
We were born after 12, like 5:30 in the morning. So like 5:34, 5:36. Yep, that was us. But sometimes when the twins are in their mother's belly, one twin might get more nutrients than the other, so they might come out different sizes. My brother and I were premature, which meant we were born early, and we came out at 4 pounds and 3 ounces, and Sid was a little bit heavier.
Little heavier than him, but exactly.
Yeah.
So depending on what, one twin might get more nutrients than the other in the mother's belly. And one thing that we did develop when we were younger was our own language. And when we were younger, it was called Schnuck-Cluck. And it was everything that we saw. We just say Schnuck-Cluck. It was our own language. It would make sense to us. To everyone else, it didn't make sense. But we had that for a little bit there till we were about, 3? Dude, I don't even remember. But my parents talk about it all the time. And it's the funniest thing because it was just like our own little world. We were living in there for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so my mom had trouble telling us apart when we were little babies. So she used wristbands when we were younger to tell us apart. And I think I had an Eeyore, Winnie the Pooh bracelet, and my brother had you had the.
Dude, I don't remember. But she'd color code us too, just like we did today. So just how we're in orange and blue to help you guys out today, just like that. Mm-hmm. And something. What else we got? And another thing is polar bears are the most likely to have twins. So are the animals most likely to have twins. I didn't know that. You know that, man? It's interesting. I had no idea. Do you guys know any other animals that are likely to have twins? I don't know of any else. Okay.
All right, so science is over. We're going to move on to math. So this is a time we want kids to go ahead and get out your pens and paper because you're going to do some math. And if you know the answer, you can type it into the Q&A or the chat area. And the guys will be giving you the math questions here, but go ahead and see if you can do all of them.
Okay. So question 1.
For a cave first.
Mm-hmm. Illinois is leading Purdue at halftime because they scored a touchdown and kicked a field goal. Purdue hasn't scored at all. What is the score? A touchdown is worth 7 points and a field goal is worth 3. What do you guys think the score is?
All right, so Tay says 10. So it's 10 to what? Anybody guess? So if Purdue hasn't scored, there we go. Braden says it's 10-0. Correct. Good job.
Good job,
Braden.
Braden.
As for the second, third grade question, if the playing surface of a football field is 100 yards long plus 2 end zones that are 10 yards each, what is the total length of the football field? So we've got the football field that is 100 yards plus 2 end zones that are 10 yards each. So 100 plus 10 plus 10, because there's 2 end zones. What's the total length of the football field? There we go, Jonah. You're on fire, man.
All right, 120 yards. Good
Awesome.
job, Jonah.
Good job, buddy. You're up.
Okay, this is a 4th to 5th grade question. If my brother Sydney intercepts Ohio State's quarterback at the OSU 13-yard line and returns the ball for a touchdown, how many yards did he run? You got to think about this one, guys. Great job.
Smoking it.
87.
There you go, bud.
Good job.
All right, so 6th grade question. We're in a big question here. If my brother Chase runs the ball 10 times in a game and gains 66 yards, how many yards per carry did Chase average? So we're going to take 66 and divide it by 10. And that will give us our yards per carry.
$66 divided by 10. Do we have any 6th graders on? Oh, there we go.
Great job, Easton.
Let's go, man.
And Braden got it.
Great job.
There you go, guys.
All right, we got 4 more just like that.
Okay. Here we go. So a touchdown is worth 10 points and an extra point is worth 1 or 2 points. What is the maximum number of points a team could score on a touchdown and extra points?
So six
So,
points.
The touchdowns with 6. Point after kick is worth 1, and a 2-point conversion is worth 2. What's the most amount of points you can get? You can only.
Braden.
Awesome. Great job.
Dude, you're on fire. This is a back-to-back, all right? Okay, 2nd and 3rd grade question here. Illinois is beating Nebraska 27-15. And then Illinois kicks a field goal in the 4th quarter. How many points does Illinois win by? So Illinois initially has 27 points, and then they kick a field goal, which is worth 3.
There
There we
QB
go.
got it.
From QB. Let's go. Good job, QB.
And Tay. Tay got it as well.
Okay. QB. Joan. Oh.
Good job, Jonah.
There you go. You're up.
Okay. 4th to 5th grade question. Illinois has the ball on their own 27-yard line. If Illinois gains 2 yards on the first down and 6 yards on second down, what yard line are they on for third down?
So this
There
says
you go, Lamont. Good job.
Good job.
Lamont understands own yard lines and opponents' yard lines.
Getting it. He's killing it.
Good job, Braden.
All right.
Guys. Good job. Okay, so if Brandon Peters completes 16 for 32 passes versus Minnesota, what is his passing percentage? First of all, I know Brandon's going to complete a lot more than that this season, guys, but 1/2. So 1/2 is what? So if we took 16 and divided it by 32, what would that give us?
So if you what's a percentage for 1/2? There we go. 50.
Good job.
Awesome.
Job, Braden.
All right, we got a bonus question here.
Okay. All right. So the bonus question: if Illinois is losing to Michigan State 28-3, What is the probability of Illinois winning the game? It's an easy one, guys.
Yeah, Tay says 100%.
100%. There we go.
Tay,
Is he
you
right?
are 100% right, buddy. Good job. I'm with you. Never give up.
All right. So one thing football players have to do is stay in shape, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to kind of give us a PE lesson.
Okay, there we go.
Have a little thing there.
Yeah. So Sid and I are going to take you through. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So a good way to stay fit through quarantine,
especially over break, it's hard to get your. I know gyms aren't open, and it's sometimes hard to get the motivation to go outside. But one thing to get that started is just to run a mile. And no matter how you complete that mile, if you have to stop 50 times, if you can complete it in one go, just try and run a mile each day and create that consistency with yourself.
Yep. And then doing a 1-minute plank, just like Sydney said, if you have to break up the minute into
10-second increments.
Yeah, 10-second increments. Do that. Just make sure a plank is a great way to strengthen your core.
And if you guys don't know what a plank looks like, we'll demonstrate it for you right here. So,
okay,
just set it up there.
Yeah. So Sydney is going to show you how to do a plank.
Okay. So, gonna get into push-up position. You can go from push-up position. You can go from your elbows on the floor, and you're just gonna want to hold this position, keeping your core tight. You don't want to have your butt too high. You don't have your butt sagging down. You want to have it right in the middle, having a tight core. Again, you can do it from those two positions. I prefer to do it from the ground for my elbows, and you're gonna hold this for a minute.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to strengthen your core and have a good base. We'll stand in.
All right. So the next one is the 100 push-ups.
100 push-ups. Chase, you want to demonstrate a push-up for me?
Yeah, so we'll do demonstrate a push-up here. So get down on your knees, and you want your arms to be shoulder-width apart, feet back, strong core. You want to engage your core, and bring your chest to the floor. And from here, you're pushing the ground to bring your body back up. A modified way to do this is to cross your legs like this and do it on your knees. This is a bit easier, but it is still push-up. So similar to the last one, you want to bring your chest to the floor and then push the floor to get your body back up. And that is 2 ways to do a push-up.
How many of you guys think you can out push-up Chase? Who can do more push-ups than Chase? I think there's a few guys in here. Nathan, Liam, you guys think so? You guys? I think you can.
Not me. Challenge me. Maybe we can do that one day.
All right. So you're also going to maybe throw in, what is one of your favorite lifts to do? Maybe something that kids could do around the house with just their body weight, or something that you've got.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean,
a great thing to use. So I'm going to assume that most people have a book in their house,
or like get the milk jug,
or milk jugs, or anything. Here we have 2 milk jugs. It could be a book. It could be the salt and pepper shaker, just something that has some weight to it. And you can do arm curls with items that you have in your own household, and you can get a good workout
there
out
you
of
go.
it.
You could do arm curls. You could show them how to do some squats with it too, Chase.
Right, yeah, and you can take one of these, hold it at your chest, and you can do squats in your house with pretty much anything. It could be a water jug, it could be a milk jug, it could be a book, but anything that has some weight to it.
Again, it could even just be your body weight. So.
Or it could be body weight. So you can use a lot of things in your household to get a good workout in. Those are just a couple that my brother and I do when we don't have access to the gym. And yeah, hopefully that helps you guys.
All right, so we're going to let kids now ask questions. So if you've got a question for Chase or Sydney, there's a little button at the bottom that says raise hand. And if you raise your hand, then you can unmute yourself and you'll be able to ask these guys questions yourself. So I'm going to ask the first one. How often are you working out these days so that you can stay in shape for when you do come back to Champaign?
Yeah, so I mean, during this quarantine, working out kind of became our job pretty much, staying in shape, making sure that we're ready for the season. So what we'll usually do is wake up in the morning. It's usually around 8, and we'll get our first workout in. After that, we're usually at the field, so sometime in the afternoon. And then at night, we do some mobility and some active stuff just to, prepare ourselves for the next day and make sure our body's 100% all the time. So it usually takes split into like 3 times a day, but
probably spend about 3.5 to 4 hours a day, at least in the gym doing exercises or mobility exercises to keep us healthy.
I don't really count the time, but it does take up a lot of our time, but it's what we love to do. So yeah.
So you guys are not in the United States. You're in Canada. Tell us what it's like in Canada right now. What's the weather like? How are people up there dealing with the pandemic?
Yeah. So the weather today is not too great. It's not snowing or anything, but it's raining, and it's probably about 75 degrees out. So it's warm, but the weather hasn't been holding up today. But the coronavirus, how people are doing with that, Canada got on it quickly and made everybody quarantine. I mean, back in March. So it hasn't got too bad up here, but people are okay. They're dealing with it well. Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, no, I guess it's, go ahead.
Are you wearing face masks when you guys go out in public?
Yeah, we are. So we do have access to face masks that my grandma provides for us. And we use those anytime we go to the grocery store or are driving to pick up essential items for our household.
Your parents are probably not expecting to be feeding you guys right now. Are you having to go to the grocery store a lot?
Yeah, probably about 3 times a week.
So kids, if you guys have any questions, you can just unmute yourself and you can ask Chase or Sydney anything you want to ask them. You can ask them about football. You can ask them about school. You can ask them about being students, whichever you want to ask.
Hey, fellas, I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm KG Dad, 53.
Okay.
Yeah, so my kids are really enjoying this time that they're spending with you. I thank you for your time. But my question is, you guys are from Canada. What made you want to go to school outside of Canada? And did you think the U.S. schools were better?
Yeah, so we had the opportunity to go to Florida, and we always, since we were young, we were intrigued by the American education and just the opportunities that came after college. Up in Canada, there's not really opportunity for full scholarships and stuff just because of funding and everything at the universities. I mean, sports isn't as big as it is in the United States, so we saw opportunity in coming to the States and we just saw opportunity, for our futures and the opportunity to again play out our dream and have the ability to.
And believe it or not, it's a lot of Canadian kids aspire to play Division I football in the United States. So when we had, like Sydney said, when we had the opportunity to, play high school football down there, it opened up we were exposed more to college code programs, and we were able to get recruited to play at the University of Illinois.
Say, when do you guys go to sleep?
What's that?
When do you guys go to sleep?
Go to sleep? What time do you go to sleep at?
Yeah, I probably go to sleep at about 10:30 each day. Some days it's a little bit later. I know, I stay up late, but that's usually when I shut off the lights, 10:30.
Well,
Who else has a question? Anybody can ask a question.
what's your favorite thing to do at school?
Favorite thing? My favorite thing to do at school is go to practice. And yeah, I don't know, just being anything around the football. Anything around football, that's my favorite thing to do.
And yeah, same here. I love going to practice in the morning. But also just spending time with my teammates. That's another great thing to do. Sometimes we'll joke around with the guys after practice, and I enjoy that a lot.
Did you guys have fun this year going to a bowl game?
That was a really good experience.
Yeah, no, it's my first bowl game. Luckily, I was able to do it as a sophomore, and many more to come in the future. But that's just our expectation now as a football team moving forward. So, looking forward to what we can do next year and coming up forward in the future.
What kind of fun things did you guys do when you were out in San Francisco? I know the team got to do some
Yeah,
fun.
no, we did a lot of exploring. So we went to Alcatraz. We saw a lot of sightseeing around the bay there, and
we actually had the opportunity to go to a basketball game. It was Golden State versus Phoenix, and that was really cool. You got to see a lot of great basketball players. And then the game, of course, that was awesome as well.
Being able to be in like Levi Stadium and stuff, and California has a different atmosphere to it, just as you sightsee around with the mountains and everything around too. So that was amazing to see. It was my first time out there, so it was awesome.
Kids, anybody else have questions? You can unmute yourself and ask these guys yourself. Anything you want to know.
What kind of vegetable do you guys eat every day?
What kind of
food do you eat every day?
Oh, what kind of food? Yeah, you want to take them to your?
Yeah, I usually wake up. I have a bowl of cereal. After my workouts, I'll have a protein shake, followed by some ground chicken and eggs. And I'm always drinking water throughout the day, and because that's a great way to stay hydrated and maintain body weight. So I usually eat 5 times a day between snacking and main meals, but yeah. What you said? What? No. It's the same.
About the same, yeah.
Who's the best vegetable eater?
Me.
Yeah, I'll give him that. We're not picky at all, but Sid is he explores a lot of things.
Is there a food at school that you like a lot around campus?
Varsity, they have
what about that little what is it? Thai restaurant, Asian restaurant just off Green Street. What's it called?
Yeah, so there's some really good Asian restaurants around campus that my brother and I will go to sometimes, and we get fried rice and chicken or a poke bowl. A lot of great opportunities on campus to eat.
Braden or Easton or anybody, do you guys have questions? Oh, yep. Ted, you've got one. Or Dutra?
Oh yeah, hi. That's Eric. I'm Nathaniel's dad. Yeah. Guess what? What advice do you have for young kids to play football? Yeah, with doing good with school. advice?
How to balance football and school, you said?
Yeah.
So,
what's the best part of playing football? Yeah, I actually call I used to call college football too. Fullback.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my son Nathaniel wants to play football when he gets older. Yeah, he's only 6 years old.
So your question was what's the
Yeah.
Well, what's your best advice for a young kid to play football? Why to play football? What's the best part about playing football? Do you guys think?
Right. So the best thing about playing football is the camaraderie and the relationships you build with your teammates. And I like how you mentioned academics, because school is really important if you want to play college football at the Division I level or any level. Getting the degree is wherever you end up going, getting a degree should be your number one goal, because unfortunately sports do end at some point, and that degree will back you up all the way through life.
And yeah, Nathaniel, you're just 6 years old, man, but you want to play football. So, keep that in the back of your mind always. Keep pushing towards that goal. And, if it's something you love and you want to do, I know you'll make it happen, buddy. So keep pushing. And I know one day you'll get an Illini jersey too.
We have a question from, is it Dutry?
If you could only have one restaurant to eat at, what would it be?
Oh, one restaurant. Smoothie King. That's my that's one thing I could do every day, all day, every day. Breakfast, dinner, lunch, post workout.
Yeah, or some sort of steakhouse.
Which one? Texas?
Yeah, probably. I'm not familiar with the steakhouse names, but probably some sort of steakhouse. I'd like to keep those. They have good food.
QB asks, what is your favorite NFL team?
Atlanta.
Falcons?
And Miami.
Tay, do you have another question? I see you hanging out with your dog.
Cute dog.
What's your dog's name, man?
Rika.
Rico?
She's almost a year old.
Oh, only a year.
Have you ever pretended to be the twin by Derek? Yeah, no, we'll mess around every now and then. I know with my other DB coach, we used to mess around with him, and my brother would walk into meetings for me, and he'd catch on it in a snap. But we'll mess around with some of our teachers and some of the coaches, and we keep them on our
toes.
Anybody else have questions? How long until your mom could tell you guys apart?
I'd say I do. She's always been good. She's always been good with it. So I think since probably the first month that we were born, she probably had us figured out.
Our grandma still gets us mixed up, and
she's been with us.
Yeah, she's been with us a while, but she still gets us mixed up.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to say to these group of kids before
I just want to say thanks, guys, for having us on. As much as you guys can learn from us, we can learn from you. So this is an awesome learning experience for us, reaching out with you guys and speaking to you all. So we appreciate you allowing us to come onto the call today. Yeah, and lastly, stay safe. Things are hard right now, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel, so keep pushing. Lamont, tell KG I say hi.
Oh, I already told him we were talking.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, guys.
I appreciate it, guys.
we hope everybody comes and to see them play this fall when the season starts. We don't know when that'll be. Hopefully it'll be on our regular time, but come see these guys play this fall, and then continue being part of our kids club so we can keep doing things like this in the future. All right. Go Illini.
Illini. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good time in Canada.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you.
See you.